Move on to the next spot on the board. 1 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Falcons 5-8, 1-5 on the road at the New Orleans Saints. 4-9, 3-4 at home or at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Start with the line history for this one. This one has the Saints opening up -3.5. They're now -4. From a total side of things, opening up at 42. Now we have a 43. From a cash flow here, we have. Where is it here? We have considerable line value at this point on the Atlanta Falcons. This is the second, tied for second with the Chargers. The only team with more implied line value on the week is the Carolina Panthers. 78% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on Atlanta, and it's moved a half point towards New Orleans. Then you have 46% of the tickets, but 69% of cash on the under, 46 and 69, and that's gone up a point. This is confusing. Preston Ekdahl in the house says, let's win this division. Saints. Falcons come in fresh off their bye with no shortage of news over the break. Marcus Mariota has now left the team. He's given no indication of when or if he will return. Comes right on the heels of Arthur Smith announcing the team made a performance-based decision to bench Mariota for Desmond Ridder ahead of this game. Mariota also will likely be placed on injured reserve with a chronic knee injury. He left the team to be with his wife, who is in labor with their first child, and it doesn't look like he's coming back, which is shocking. Atlanta's gone 5 straight games without passing for 200 yards. They averaged just 17.6 points per game over those 5 games. And in the preseason, Ridder completed 60.1% of his passes, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Last year at Cincinnati, he threw for 3,334 yards, 30 touchdowns, 8 picks. We last saw them in a 1916 loss at home to the Steelers in Week 13. They put up just 306 yards of offense, 3 of 10 in third down. Drake London, 6 catches for 95 yards, ran 28 times as a team for 146 yards. And they're still in contention in this NFC South. No team has a winning record, but they have 4 losses in their last 5 games, only by a total of 22 points. They came through the game 2 weeks ago in good shape injury-wise. They're hopeful that maybe they'll get some players back after the bye. Offensive lineman Elijah Wilkinson and Matt Hennessy are both on IR, as well as Chuma Edoga, defensive lineman Jalen Dalton. They're all in the mix to play here at New Orleans. Let's start right now with Atlanta and the elephant in the room, the quarterback. What do you think of Desmond Ridder starting, and how will it affect this team?
I don't know. He's not that dissimilar from Mariota as far as style. Can I actually watch some? I don't watch a ton of college football. I actually watch some of him. And this is such a weird game because the records that these teams have, I mean, for the most part, you'd be looking at this point in the season. This is not an important game whatsoever. This is 2 teams that are out of it or, are nearly mathematically eliminated from like the 7th seed. They can both win the division yet. It's so stupid how bad this division is. So it's an important game. That's even the wilder part, that they're just going to go to the backup quarterback. Because I think they understand, like, maybe Arthur Smith is a realist and like, all right, we could win the division. That's fine and all. But what does that really mean? Hosting like the Cowboys or hosting Seattle and just getting the shit whooped out of them. So I'm fine. You need to get some reps for this kid and see what you have. You're not going to use Mariota long term. I mean, for the sake of time, I'm not betting this game. I'm passing so hard. I'm not betting into a game where I have no idea what we're getting out of a quarterback. And then also the Saints basically have been, up or down depending on what they're getting from their quarterback as well. So Falcons rested. Falcons defense is still not good, but it's healthier. Probably if you made me bet this, I'd take Falcons at 4, Saints at 3, if it moved, and I'm not happy about either of those. So yeah, no bet, no action. Don't even want to talk about this one. So it's just, I'm going to watch it. This is one where I won't bet it, but I do want to see what Ridder's all about. So I'll be paying attention.
Yeah, no, that all makes total sense. Saints coming fresh off their bye week. They were last seen that 17-16 heartbreaking loss at Tampa, 14 points in the final 3 minutes. Dalton 20-28 for 229 yards and a touchdown. Raheed Shaheed 4 catches for 75. Olave 4 for 65. But their ground game again shut down. 66 yards on 25 carries. Alvin Kamara is under-delivering week in and week out. He finished with 26 yards on 12 carries. The week prior against the Niners, 7 carries for 13 yards and 2 fumbles. Been a strange season for them. They lose Michael Thomas and Jameis Winston. They have neither played since week 3, and I get so confused with the Saints. They confuse me. They're 16th in total offensive yards, 11th in passing yards. And so I think that they can put up points, but they don't put up points. They're 11th in yards allowed, 17th in points allowed, 9th in sacks. So I think, this is a good football team, but they're not. And the turnover differential -12 is absolutely ludicrous. And Marshawn Lattimore's missed 8 straight games. PJ Williams, their safety, hurt himself, knee injury against the Niners. And Eric McCoy, their center, who's been such an important piece, has been on injured reserve since the midseason. So Terry Walker looking at New Orleans. Papa Call says the game's in New Orleans will be harder for him. Newquarter says maybe he does what Purdy does in the first game. All right, let's move past it, though. I can understand Sky Dragon wanting Nola at -3 badly and not wanting him at -4. All of this makes sense. And what do we know? What are we going to get from Ritter? Birdie says it's a must to get first down late. Saints went with an injured Ingram over Kamara. In a must get first down. Excuse me. Went with an injured Ingram over Kamara. That was very telling. Falcons are nothing. Saints offense is not good, and I always see the positive. All right, let's move on then